Hello, hi guys. Hi. Good to see you. Good to be here. My name is Sylvia Chebet Kipkemoi. Oh, I put all three. My name is Sylvia Chebet Kipkemoi. In Africa's Talking, I work in developer relations and lead the Women in Tech Africa team. Really glad to be here. Really excited for this. Hackathon is probably like one of my favorite things. I don't want to rank them, but one of my favorite things. So this will be fun. For those who were not here yesterday, we kicked it off with day 0, where we did UI UX design, and today we're doing front-end engineering. We'll segue into back-end engineering tomorrow, and finally infra, all right? So that's what we'll be doing for most of it, and I will do the introduction to at least introduce Africa's Talking, the company, why we're here, what we're going to do, just to give you the mindset, right? Majority of you have been in Africa's Talking before. Yes, so this was not something new. However, there's always something you can learn, and there's always something you can gain. So we will start off with why we are here. This is Africa's Talking. We power communication solutions across Africa. That's what the website says. But what we really do is offer communication APIs. These are APIs you've interacted with, right? Like which ones? USSD, SMS, voice, Airtime. Guys, there's one person in the audience around all of the above. Front-end engineers don't interact with the API. You design and leave it to the back-end guys. If that's how your team works, that's very scary. Because I'll say, I don't know how that's supposed to work. Anyway, I've done my part. But that's not what we're really aiming to do. You work in a team, you may not interact with it as often, but you still pave way for the back-end engineer to be able to use it efficiently. Because if you really mess up in today's hackathon, if you don't do the front end well, if your React is not reacting, it's not reacting, the back-end engineer tomorrow will come and implement Node, and when they're doing the routes, nothing makes sense. What you had built, the code you had done for your front end will not even be logical, right? So even as you're working in a team, you're learning collaboration skills, you're learning how to even build your skill set in the tech space and work with others. It doesn't mean that because you are not deploying, you know nothing about it. You need to understand how that system works to see where you plug in and fit in, right? And how you contribute to it. It's teamwork. But yes, that's basically about Africa's Talking. 23 plus countries across Africa. So if you're visiting any other African country, if you visit the Nairobi office, guys, just if you're in Nairobi, visiting the national park, what do people visit in Nairobi? Nightlife. No, developers are good people. Yes? Yes? You are saying hi. You do visit Nairobi a lot. Please do pass by. Tell us, welcome to the Nairobi office. See how different it looks, what it entails. The same way we are passing by Kampala, we're here for the summit, we'll always stop by. So you can always find an office across Africa, and this just means even as you're building your solutions or as you're coding that application, that product, think about it in terms of it's not just solving the problem for your village, for your estate, for your town. It's solving a problem that can be applied all across the continent, right? And even globally. So you even change how you think as a developer. This solution is good for the farmers in my home area, but think about it. Can it be scaled up to be used by farmers in East Africa? To be used by farmers across Africa? To be used by anyone farming globally? Can people cross-communicate, interact? That's the mindset you have. So when we're saying 23 plus offices, we're not just saying buildings. We're saying expand your mindset even when you're building as part of the community. Expand your mindset in terms of the community. Interact with AT Gambia, AT Nigeria. What are they doing different? There's the Nairobi team. Okay, maybe they're still waking up, jet lag. So there's the Nairobi team that hasn't come here yet, but they're interacting with the Kampala devs. They're learning from you guys. Interact with them. Ask them questions. How do they do their things there? What is interesting? What competitions do I have? What's the level of building there that's different here? That's how you even grow as a dev. Things no one will tell you. And as Africa's Talking, we have our main products. You're familiar with the first 4, I believe. SMS, USSD, airtime data, Voice. At least these four you're very familiar with. You've interacted with them here and there. SIM-Swap is our new API that is being launched. It's part of an insights bundle. This is the thought process. So we at Africa's Talking sat and thought, as a developer is building, we've empowered your communication by enabling you to back up your websites with SMS connectivity to create that touch with your clients. We're enabling you to give them USSD access for offline purposes. When they're not able to use the internet, they can still get your services as USSD. When you're presenting your hacks in the evening, these are points. You can say, we used USSD because we thought about the people who do not have good internet coverage. We are in Africa. As much as we want to be where most of the first world countries are, internet connectivity is not everywhere. So that's why we opted for USSD. Things like that. We've given you airtime and data to motivate your people when they land on your mobile app, on your website app. Incentives, small tokens to show when you've checked in. You've received some airtime, right? You received some small airtime when you checked in today and yesterday, or yesterday. Not yet. Some people, anyone who received, guys, I have seen the messages popping up with UGX, and then now no one is raising their hand. How many people received airtime? At least today or yesterday when you checked in? A small amount. Yes, you received, yes. In case you had not checked, you can check your messages here, there. There may be a slight delay, some will come. But there's a small UGX you receive. But these are just small incentives, courtesy of the Airtime API. Voice solutions to enable you to do similar functions to USSD, but now with voice, you're reaching out to people who probably may not be able to read. Faster connectivity, calls are faster than having to follow a step-by-step. We've given you this, and now we thought, what more can we do for the devs? Worry not, because we got you. We have a new suite of APIs called Insights API. And with this API, you'll be able to get more insight on your client, more insight on the people that you are building for. And the first one in this bundle is SIM-Swap. So if you're building something with regards to a fraud, do you have Tala here, branch? Lending apps, mobile lending apps. There's branch? No. Tala? What are the local ones? You have? Mosente. Oh, okay. So you can borrow. If I don't have some money and I'm going on a date, and yeah, I can borrow some money so that I look nice, so that there'll be a second date. Okay, yeah, it's investment, you think about it. Yeah. So the same way, now you can be able to check if people who try to borrow money on that app, when that SIM was last swapped, so that you're not dealing with fraudsters or gangsters. If you look up at the documentation, you search Insights or search SIM-Swap on the Africa's Talking, developers.africastalking.com. The documentation, you'll see it there. And there's a lot more that's coming, but that's just the overview. We're trying to really make this communication seamless all across for you as a dev when you're building. Now, enough of the API talk. More API talk will be there tomorrow. Today, we are going to focus on front end, right? Yes. So the guy who was saying they're in front end, they're not going to touch APIs. It is now your turn. Overview of how we'll do the hackathon. Very simple. This may have a change in venue, but not a change in program. All right? So we arrive in the morning, demonstrations or an introduction to what we're doing, to front end, to the hackathon generally, because probably there are some people who are not here yesterday or who are here for the first time. So we all understand what we're doing. In a while, we'll have Africa's Talking, a front-end engineer from Africa's Talking, give an overview. As you're building, what are the key elements? What are you supposed to consider? Maybe a few tricks. What are you using? He will give that insight, and then you'll start off with a hackathon. We will take a short break for lunch or to eat something. And then after we take our lunch break, we will proceed to the actual summit venue, which is 4 Points by Sheraton. Yes, where we will continue where we will continue with the building all through because we still have presentation in the evening. There will be breakout sessions. On the website, you can see the sessions that will be happening. There will be breakout sessions. Whichever track you want to watch in, the developers will be presenting as well. So some people in the community have sessions. So look at those sessions, AI sessions, cloud sessions, development sessions, whatever interests you, go to that breakout room, really take in what they're saying, okay? If there is a free room or space, feel free to continue building. If there is, all the breakouts are occupied, feel free to sit in the breakouts. Sit in a breakout room that interests you. Feel free to sit in a breakout room that interests you, and then you can continue building. So do not feel shy to continue working on your projects because we will start presentations in the evening. So presentations will be at 4 Points by Sheraton. If you have never presented on a 4 Points by Sheraton screen, hey, today is your day. I hope you're well dressed. The camera will be there, lights, action, big screen. You will be happy. I hope the code works. But it will have to now. It will have to. All right, so we'll change venue, but feel free to continue building all through. Today will be on front end. I will let Dagi give more details on that. But that is basically the poster that was going around, the prizes that are up for grabs. In case you were doubting, things are happening in the moment. Guys here walked away with dollars. I hope they got home safe because, they can live here with dollars and we say, we have marked you. Yeah, but please let them get home safe. There are good prizes to be won. Ensure you build something solid. All right? Build something good, something you're proud of. When you're presenting, give questions to those who are presenting to help them even make this product better. You are their first clients, give them the feedback. So that after this summit, when you see them advertising it out there, you even feel proud. This is someone in our community. Look at the things we're doing. Big things, right? That's such a big thing. So give them constructive feedback. Those who are here, take it in and realize, oh, wow, that makes sense. We had not thought of that. 3 points, 3 points. Write it down, go and implement. Make the solutions even better. Continue working. All right? Alongside that, for those on the social media side, worry not, we got you. Even as you're building, and the beauty with social media these days is this is your chance to talk about what you're doing. Put yourself on the map. People build beautiful things. You're skilled, you're a developer, you're the best backend developer in the world. Anything you get, you hack it. But if no one sees it, you're sitting with that knowledge and you'll just stay with it. It won't take you anywhere. So this is your chance. If you're here, you've not even tried, maybe you're not even out for the prize, but use this as a challenge, even as a human, to improve yourself, to just talk about what you're building. Go on social media, just say, working on this today. You'll be surprised. Someone will stumble upon it and they'll say, wow, I like what you're doing. I'm doing research in this. I want to fund people who are working in this. Can we talk? Can we have a discussion? Just like that. Things happen in the most unexpected of ways. So even these social media awards, it's not for clout and all that. It's actually to build you as a brand. Building your brand stretches beyond waiting to finish school and then now somehow we usually wait for some divine intervention. We become adults. We finish school. Some of us finished school. We didn't grow. We just stayed this size. But it's fine. It's okay. But your brand, the name you're building for yourself, starts from as early as yesterday. So on social media, you will receive awards from 9 to 6, tweets with the most engagement. But even aside from this, with the hashtags and everything, talk about what you're doing. Talk about it. I know the awards are just on Twitter, but do it on LinkedIn. Do it on Instagram, whichever platform, IG. But do it on platforms. Talk about it. Write a blog. Say what you're working on. Say what technologies you're using. It's very important. Sawa sawa. Hey, thank you. Finally, this is the summit, summit.africastalking.com. Again, schedule is on the website, summit.africastalking.com. Feel free to invite people. There are still tickets. You can still see what the summit is about. It will be at 4 Points by Sheraton. So we'll be getting to, but this is part of the summit. This is the summit hackathon. So you're still very much in the summit. We'll just change venue for ambience. Yeah, in the afternoon. That being said, finally is our communities. And I believe everyone here is a member of AT community. But in case you are not, or you are not sure, just scan this QR. We can wait. It's okay. Just scan. It usually gives you an option. If you scan it and it tells you join, then you are not a member. Just join. But then if you scan it and it tells you leave, congratulations. You are a member. Imagine, but don't leave. No, don't leave. Just leave that button as leave. Hey, leave that button as leave. I can be an artist. Yes? No? Okay, fine. But I'm giving it a minute for those who are scanning the QR. Or if you have friends who are not here, you can take a photo and they can scan it. Like you can actually take a photo for future use. Yeah, they can scan it from wherever they are at. So we'll give that a minute, a few seconds. All right, that seems to be everyone. And alongside that, another incredible community. And allow me to just take a minute to ask everyone in the room to kindly round of applause for the Women in Tech Kampala community. Some people are not clapping. Some people were not clapping. Let's do that again. This community started this year. It's not even a year old, but the strides and the efforts that the people in this community are doing are being seen not just in Kampala, outside. This community is being referenced. It's such a beautiful thing. Shout out to Rachel, Brenda, and everyone who is leading that community. The Kampala team, Asenath, Metrine, and everyone who's helping. Guys, for supporting, for being there and just holding their hands, because this one will shock people. The skill growth here is incredible. So take a photo, join the community. You can take a photo and send it to that girl. Imagine, just one way to start the conversation. She will think you're incredibly intelligent. I'm giving you tips. This is a girl giving you tips. Take a photo. You did. Yeah, smart man. She's already testimony. Yeah, it starts like that. Take a photo, send it to her. Tell her you will fit in this community. You are such an incredible woman. See how that conversation goes. Yeah, you can quote me when you're doing your wedding toasts. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. So just a minute for those who are scanning this one. Right. That being said, thank you for your time.
So guys, I know you guys have been trying to buy tickets and, and everything and check out the websites. So everything you interacted with there was built by this chief, including fixing bugs and everything. And it's quite incredible. So I would request to give a mighty loud of applause for Douglas Mwangi.
My name is Douglas Mwangi, or you can call me Dougie. I'm a full-stack software engineer at Africa Stocking Limited. And today I'll walk with you through best practices on front-end engineering. So first, before we go on, here are the prerequisites. You'll need a browser. You'll need knowledge of JavaScript, a backend environmental language, for example, Node. I'll use Node, but you can also use Python or any other server-side language. Then you need a code editor, say VS Code, Notepad, but not Microsoft Word. That's, yeah. In Campus, we started with Microsoft Word, and it was chaotic. And then you'll also need a tunnel, say ngrok or You can set up Cloudflare tunnels or Pingy and the likes. The title for today is Mastering Modern Web APIs for Enhanced User Experiences. And we will go through some of the modern web APIs that you could utilize to make better user experiences. If you have a question during this session, please feel free to interrupt and ask. We good? Perfect. So I want us to change how we do things like security, sharing, and analytics on the front end. So the first of a good security UX, we are going to go through WebOTP API. The second one will go through WebShare API, and the third one will be WebBeacons API. So let's start with WebOTP API. How many have used any OTP service or created your own? Perfect. That's still a small number. Yeah. Okay, let's start from the beginning. You know what I mean by OTP, right? The one that you get a code. Yes. Normally it's used when signing in or signing up. Yeah. So the question here is, why are your OTP so manual? Why do you have to get a code on your SMS app, then exit? Wait, you sign up on your browser, then a code is sent to your SMS app, so you'll have to quit the browser to open the SMS app, so you can copy the code and type it. You get? So why are you doing this? So why are your OTP so manual? So in this, so here's a problem that we face. Manual OTP entry is time consuming and error prone, yeah? And the solution here is the WebOTP API, which auto-fetches the OTP from your SMS app, therefore improving user experience. So a user doesn't have to quit the browser so as to get into the SMS app. So the WebOTP API is a browser feature that enables seamless one-time password retrieval from SMS. And for this, can do a demo. Imagine a scenario where you've signed up on a web service. Say, for example, yesterday I saw someone with a demo of a fintech app. Yeah? So imagine you're a user signing up on such a platform, and you enter your phone number, and then a code is sent. Yeah? So in this case, I will trigger a code. Let me put this up here. So basically what I'm doing on this console is just triggering the sending of an SMS. And then what we'll see on the mobile phone is how that SMS gets auto-populated. And then after that, we are going to see the JavaScript behind that auto-population. So here I send the SMS, and let's see how this goes. Oh. Interesting. Let's repeat that again. Let me make this a bit random. Yes. So in Android, where is it? And in Android 12, it's getting on the keyboard auto suggestion. Yeah. So it still works, just a different approach. Yeah. So before we continue, let's look at the format of the message. This is how you format your messages for WebOTP. It needs to have the address. This is the URL of, the place where someone is populating. And then your code needs to appear with the hashtag. Yeah. And this other part, this is optional. It's just for, how do I put this? Just so a user can't put a hash. You understood? Yes. So let's look on the JavaScript side of things. So before we continue, and I know you might be wondering why is there a question mark here. I've noted that in Android and iPhone, this is being converted to a question mark, but originally in the code it was an at, the at symbol. Yeah, but it works either way. This is something new that I've known a few minutes ago. Let's go to the JavaScript itself. So here's the simplified version of that code. Everybody can see it from the back. You're able to, okay. Let me change the theme. Is visible? Good. Yeah. So this is the client-side JavaScript and how it looks like. This is just a simple input, a HTML input, type text. Autocomplete, there's an autocomplete attribute called one-time-code and an input mode numeric. So that's on the HTML. On the JavaScript, there is, the first thing we do is check if the browser supports this feature. So this feature is called OTP credential. Yeah. So basically we are running an if check on the browser to see if it supports it. If it doesn't support, we, just ignore the entire feature in totality. And if it supports it, we, how the browser has event listeners here? So we are tagging this code under the DOM content loaded event listener. So basically when that page loads, this code gets executed. Yep. So inside it, the first thing we are doing is pulling this HTML input, and then if we don't find it, we exit. And if we find it, we create an abort controller. Yeah? How many have used abort controller before? Oh, okay. Okay, interesting. So abort controller is basically a way to, you can use it for so many things, to abort promises, to abort fetch requests. It's a general, okay, though not popular, but you can use it for so many things. In this case, we are going to use it to abort the submission of, the code. But that's not related to this feature specifically. So let's scroll down. So this is a part where the OTP happens. Basically, it's a promise for an async await or a promise for getting the OTP. This is how you format it. You say that you want to fetch the OTP from SMS. So you give it the value of OTP transport, then SMS. This signal that you're seeing here, it's related to the abort controller. It's not compulsory. You could ignore it. And it still works, but it's a good practice to include it. And then what happens behind the scenes is that the browser and the OS communicate in the background, and when it gets an SMS, it reports back to the browser, and then it resolves the promise, and that's where we assign this OTP code into the input value. You've understood? Anybody with a question? Okay. I don't know if having no questions is a good thing or a bad thing. Is that? Both. Okay. So have you understood, or have I, Okay, interesting. Yeah, does anybody have a question? Okay, Interesting. I'll share this code just so you can go through it step by step slowly. So let's also check how the backend code looks like. It's just a simple, the way you usually send SMSs using AT. ATs. So you can use any backend language or environment. You could even use CAR. You can use anything, but however you do it, just ensure you formatted it in this same way. Where is it? Where is it? So I want you to focus on line 19. That's where everything happens. Everything above it, everything below it is just the normal code that you use to send SMS. Line 19 is about the format of the SMS. So first, you must include your domain or subdomain. So this is basically like the website that you are on, where the user will be on. So in this case, it will be your OTP is the code, and then the @ symbol, and then the domain or subdomain, and then a hashtag followed by the code. You see how simple it is? Yeah, so this is basically the format of the SMS. So how does it work? User requests OTP via SMS, and then the browser retrieves the OTP from SMS without leaving the app, and then the OTP is autofilled securely. But if you're on Android 12, the OTP gets added on your keyboard as a suggestion, and then you tap on it and fill. Same experience. Okay, just one extra step now. Browser support, it's available on Chrome, Edge, and Samsung Internet. And you can also check browsers Arc is based on Chromium, so I'm sure it's supported on Arc and Brave too. About the security of it, it only works with HTTPS domains, and this is the part where in the prerequisites, I mentioned you need a tunnel if you're testing it out on localhost. Besides that, it also requires user consent. That's where you saw a pop-up where he was prompted to allow the browser to read messages on the phone. The benefits of it is enhanced UX. There's no manual entry needed, again, unless you're on Android 12. It's increased conversion. This means faster and smoother logging and sign-up flows. The other one is reduced errors. So you've ever gone to a site and then it sends you a bunch of OTP messages and you're like, which should I use when? Instant. But with this WebOTP API, you don't need to worry about that. The browser will just pick which is appropriate. The use cases for it could be e-commerce authentication, banking and finance app, and secure 2FA. Yes. So that was not complex, and now this is less complex than that. So the next one we are going through is WebShare API, and this is popular when you're building, say, content platforms or something where you need to share things out here. So WebShare API is a browser feature that allows web apps to share content like links, text, and files directly with native apps. Say, for example, you've seen some good. You know how Twitter works, where when you click the share and it prompts, and it opens WhatsApp, Instagram, I think, Notion, all those apps, yeah? So it uses WebShare API. So the problem that WebShare API solves is that traditional sharing often requires copy pasting or using custom widgets, yeah? And the solution that WebShare API has is it enables native sharing, therefore improving user experience with a few steps. Yeah. The code for it is pretty simple, pretty straightforward. In this case, you just need a title, a text, and a URL in an object, as an object. And then you invoke navigator.share. You can go back to a demo. Or even, let me see if I can open it from here. Again, it also needs HTTPS, so I'll use the one that I already set up. Or let's use the one that you have. So click on web share. Good. So in this demo, we have a share button here, and when you click on it, let's see what happens. It opens these apps. It's saying, do you want to share? Oh, this was shared using web share API, africastocking.com. Do you want to share on Gmail, Messages, Telegram, and more? You can also send to other devices or convert that to a QR code. If you click on more, I bet WhatsApp and TikTok will show up. Yep, the list continues. Okay, there's some private stuff here, but you can even share on ChatGPT. And the beauty of it, it's just like a line 2 or 3 of code. Good. Let me come back to this. Yeah, so how it works is a user clicks on the share button on the web app, and then the browser's native share sheet opens, therefore allowing sharing via installed apps, messaging, emails, social media, and the likes. The shared content is then directly sent to the chosen app. So that content again could be a URL, a text, or files. So where on which browsers is it supported? Chrome, Edge, Samsung Internet, and if you're skeptical about the browser that you use, you can go to caniuse.com. Yeah, that's the site that. Yeah, so here's where I usually come to check which browser features are supported. So in this case, let me say share API. Oh, okay. So here it is, web share API. So we can see it's supported on Chrome since version 89, on Safari since version 12, that way. The ones in red are the ones that it's not supported, which are those, little known browsers or rarely used. Yes, so the benefits of using it is native-like experiences, smooth integrated sharing. It's simple to implement. You've seen it's just like 3 lines of code, the content and the navigator.share. And then it's cross-platform. It works across all OSs and multiple browsers, yeah. The use case for it is sharing blog posts or product pages, or social media sharing buttons, or apps requiring file or URL sharing, e.g. event invites. Makes me wonder, why didn't we? Okay, yeah, I should have added that into our event website because it's a cool feature. Any questions? Again, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Okay, interesting. Okay. Can I ask you what you've understood so far? You.
Hello, good morning, everyone. For that session, I understood what OTPs are. I didn't know them, I swear, but I've been seeing them appearing in my phone, but I didn't know what they are. So I understood that it's a one-time password that comes once and helps you retrieve what you were looking for.
So, okay, what I understood is Web Share API. I didn't know that before. So it's a very great API, especially if you want to share multiple things across multiple applications, especially mobile applications such as Gmail, like anything, if you want to share files. So I've also learned that it's not supported by all browsers. So, and yeah, I think that's what I got here.
She's spoken about WebOTP API. He's spoken about WebShare API. And now on the last one, WebBeacons API. So before we continue, there's some cool feature that we have on the Summit website where we observe where users are clicking most, and this helps us design the next version of the website better. Currently, we are using a third-party tool called Microsoft Clarity, but the cool thing about what I'm about to share right now is that Clarity is also built on the WebBeacons API. Interesting. No, let me not show that Clarity part for data purposes. But basically, it shows you a video of where users are clicking. Like for example, I noted in some cases, people are clicking on images expecting them to pop up. But we didn't have that pop up. Say things like that. So back to the WebBeacons API. Okay, I have a typo here. Let me fix in production. If I may use that. Yeah. So what is the WebBeacons API? It's a lightweight and efficient way to send small amounts of data to a server asynchronously. So the first, when I give you this definition, the first thing that you might be tempted to ask is, what's wrong with, Fetch API and XML HTTP request, XHR basically. And one of the things so when you try doing analytics with Fetch API or XHR, you're going to realize that you won't capture everything. For example, you won't capture when a user is leaving your website. Well, let me ask, does someone know why you can't capture that? When a user is leaving your website? Anybody?
Okay, I think I understood the question like in another way, like, okay, what's the purpose of knowing when a user is leaving your website? Yeah. So, because I remember, was it in not a hackathon, it was just a study jam. So it was like they're creating a data set using the number of times someone is clicking on your website. So we were creating a demo data set using that thing. So after that, they were creating machine learning models to predict if your website is going to be living for the for the coming 5 years, something like that. So it's like, okay, I wasn't on the website, but there is a way, like when you click on the link, So it's like you on the data set a new row is added. The time, the place, even the location. So we drop down some security purposes for location and all of that so that it can work. So when someone clicks, it creates a new line on the data set. So we're creating a machine learning model that can predict using those rows if your website is going to be active or people can visit based on those clicks. So you would see maybe for this location there are 20 people per day. For this location it changes or something cool.
So, correct me if I'm wrong. You are collecting analytics of what people are clicking to predict whether they'll continue using that website. Interesting.
I think the Fetch API does not capture when the user is leaving the user interface or the website because it's not designed to capture navigation events. Yeah.
I'll come back to you in a minute. So, first, your answer is, I'd say, valid, or 99% there. Let me first start here. So, you are capturing what users were doing on the page, and you're using Fetch, I believe. Oh, you're in there. Oh, okay, interesting. Okay, interesting. So, when you're capturing things like clicks, you can do it with Fetch. And back to his answer, Fetch is limited in how you can capture navigation events because when you click on, say, a button to go to another page, that Fetch request will be aborted, it will be cancelled. So yes, it's limited in how it can handle navigation events. But that's where WebBeacon's API comes. Because even when the page is being... So remember how I mentioned that your web page has events and JavaScript can listen to those events? And in that demo, the one for WebOTP API, we listened to the event of the page load. So there's also an event for listening to a page being unloaded. Basically, this is where users clicked on a button and they're leaving, or maybe they clicked on the cancel, that browser cancel. And maybe they click there. Either way, both of them are unload events. Yeah. So what WebBeacon APIs does, since it sends small data and it doesn't require feedback from that data, basically it doesn't have a response, it's able to send out everything before it quits. Yeah. I think let's look at some code. So it's pretty simple, not too much. This one line of code is everything. So what it does is first you invoke the navigator, navigator.sendBeacon, and then the first parameter here is the URL. So basically this is the destination of that data, or the server. And then the second parameter is the data in string form. So if we go back here, the URL in this case it's https://example.com/track. So these are like our analytics URL. In the case of our Summit website, this could be Microsoft Clarity, yeah. And then the data inside, it's a string. How you know it is because it's JSON.stringify. Inside that string is an object, but the content really doesn't matter, so long as it's a string. And we are creating an event called user left page and a timestamp here. So the next thing we do is that you see this part where we are sending that beacon. We've attached it to the unload events. If we did this with Fetch API, we put Fetch API here, it won't succeed. Because, how do I put this? The request will be cancelled before it gets sent out or gets a response back. With SendBeacon, it doesn't have a way to handle a response. It doesn't have a response. And I think, let me show you a demo of it. Okay, before I continue, this is Cloudflare. If you have your own domain, you could set up a tunnel with your custom domain. So in this case, my domain is blanks.com, and then I've created a custom tunnel called sandbox.blanks.com. The reason I started using Cloudflare is ngrok was, you know how ngrok, if you stop it and then start it, it's going to give you a new address. Sometimes that slows you down, yeah? So probably you need an address that doesn't change, and that's where I did one using Cloudflare. And then I customized it such that if I pass it a port, it will just give me, that address. After this, if you're interested in setting this up and you have a domain, feel free to come see me there, and I'll share the, everything that you need to set up your own. It's like a 5-minute thing. In Fetch, you usually have a request and a response. In Beacons, you don't have a response. And that's what you're seeing here. This request has no response data available. So Beacons is one way, browser to server. So it's good for sending things like analytics. Can you keep alive sessions with it? I'm not sure, but yeah, just thought of that. It might be a cool way. So basically, I want to show you how that data looks like. It's pretty simple. So what we're doing here basically is, I converted this to a blob. And then I'm getting some data from the navigator.sendBeacon, which I put it in result and then console log it. And then what I get here is result colon true. Yeah?
What is a blob?
A blob. How do I put this? Oh, I've never asked myself that question, by the way. That's a very interesting question. So I'll have to Google it with you. I've used it frequently, but come to think of it, sure, I don't know the definition. Let's Google with you. Let's go. Let's do this. I've used blobs for images. Have you ever tried to, when someone sends you a WhatsApp message with an image, have you ever tried to right-click on that image and go to the inspect element, then get the image itself? From the computer? Yeah, from the WhatsApp web. So one thing you'll notice is that WhatsApp doesn't really send images as URLs. It saves, I've seen this as a blob, unless it changed. But anyway, here's a definition. Whoa, okay. The blob interface represents a blob, which is a file-like object of immutable raw data. They can be read as text or binary data. Does that make sense? Interesting. Yeah.
So it does not change because it's immutable, right?
Yeah, actually, yes. So it means when you're converting something to a blob, no, that sentence doesn't make sense. I wanted to say if you put something as a blob, it will remain the same, but then it was like same output, same input, same output. Yeah, I'll need to get into that rabbit hole. It's an interesting one. Yeah, but I can share this code. Yeah. Yeah, you've given me something to go think about. Interesting, thanks. Back to the code. Yeah, so what I was saying is that, but then you could put here is a base64 image also. Even I think even a video. There's just a lot you can do with this blob. Yeah, I've used it, but I've never really gotten to dig into it. I'm trying to think about how base64 images, whether they can be thought of as blobs. But anyway, I'll go think about it. Yeah, it's something good you've mentioned. Perfect. Yeah. So basically, what I was doing here is before the browser exits that page, I send a beacon of that. Yeah. So basically, the one of the best ways you could use beacons is for analytics, tracking. Basically observing what a user is doing on their end, because you don't really need a response, but you need to process the activity on the back end. Back to the slides. So basically, this is how it works. A user interaction triggers a beacon request. Actually, it's not a must be a user interaction. You could even do a set interval, thing. Then the data is sent to the server as a HTTP request and as a background task. So it doesn't block requests. And in fetch, you sort of block, especially if not. By default, in fetch you'll block, but in beacons you don't block it. It's basically a background task. Therefore, it doesn't interrupt the user experience. And then a beacon does not delay the unloading of the page. So again, better user experience. And then the server processes the data, e.g. analytics or user activity. On which browsers it's supported? Oh, it's okay. So it's supported on Chrome, Edge, Samsung Internet. And again, you can go to caniuse.com and search for beacon. And then it will tell you whether your specific browser is supported. So the key features of Beacon's API is that it's asynchronous and unblocking. It works during page unload or navigation. And it's suitable for small data transfers. Yeah. Next, let's see. So what are the benefits? It's reliable. Yeah. Data is sent even when the user is leaving the page. It has a low impact on user experience. One, because it doesn't delay navigation. And the last one, it's efficient for analytics, diagnostics, or user tracking. The use cases for this is, again, user engagement data, tracking form submissions, logging errors or performance metrics. Actually, there was a tool that I was building recently for I needed to observe some kind of bugs that users were getting, but Clarity was not telling me about them. So I was using it basically for logging errors. Yeah. So from the front end to the back end, it's like console log that works. That's on the front end, but it's reporting on the back end. So basically, in a nutshell, the things that we've covered is the WebOTP API, which enhances security and user experience by automating OTP entry, therefore reducing friction in the authentication process. The next thing that we've talked about is the WebShare API, which simplifies how you share content from web pages into other apps. It feels like a native experience. The last one is WebBeacons API, which ensures reliable background data transfer for analytics and diagnostics. Yeah. So, does anyone have a question? Again, a good thing, a bad thing, yeah, but it's all right. So I'll upload this code on GitHub and then share it on the AT WhatsApp group. Yeah, I believe most, if not all of you, are on it. If you are not on it, talk to Sylvia. Yeah. And yeah, and that's it. So let's make the web great again. Let me invite Sylvia.
All right, round of applause for Dagi. So all through the day, when we go there, he will still be very much available in case you have more questions or in case you're stuck. Any of us will be there to just help all through. Sasa, yeah, everyone, the community leads, Kina Roland, us, Kina Dagi, everyone will be there to help. Sawa. Oh, all right, I say sawa a lot. I'm sorry, I now realize it. It is very serious. I need to find other words. Okay? All right, so feel free to continue with the hacking from here. Yes, in a few we'll go for lunch, but before then, let's all start hacking and all the very best. Looking forward to your solutions in the evening. Okay?